Majority of your money, the big portion of your expenses are gonna go towards air travel, accommodation, food, and transportation. If you can keep those low, then you will be able to stretch your budget and be able to do a lot more stuff. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Sabrina and I would like to welcome you to my channel. On this channel, I'll talk about my travel experiences, my travel tips that I have for you guys, lessons that I've learned over the years, and all that good stuff. So if this is your first time here, definitely click the subscribe button and the notification bell that's right next to it as well, so that way you don't miss any one of my uploads, right? So on this video, I'm going to talk about how to travel to multiple countries and keeping your cost low, right? So last year, I traveled to 10 countries and spent on average about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, that's average, that I spent about 2 weeks on each in each country. So the first tip on keeping your costs low when traveling, when you want to travel to multiple countries, is to pick your destinations that are close to each other, within the same region, sometimes within the same continent if you can. So let's pick Europe, for example. It's the easiest example. If you want to travel to multiple places in Europe, it can be very cost effective to you because you have low budget airlines that travel from and to other European countries that will help you move around a lot for very low. So a flight from Greece to Italy can be as low as 50 euros, which is sometimes, like, depending on the exchange rate, could be about 60 US dollars, right? Sometimes you find flights for as low as $20. As long as you're not bringing with you a lot of luggage, you might be able to move around for super low. So when you are within one region, there are local airlines of that region that will be able to take you from point A to point B within that region for super low. It's like that in Europe, and it's like that in Asia as well. It's a bit more tricky for continents like Africa and other parts of the world as well. So, but for Europe and Asia, if you plan to go on multiple countries in Europe and multiple countries in Asia, then it's definitely easier to just book a one-way flight to that country and then book multiple one-way flights to as you hop from one destination to the other, right? Tip number 2, find really good but cost-effective Airbnbs to stay. And I know a lot of people have stayed at Airbnbs and they love it. Some people have had bad experiences, unfortunately, but I have never had a bad experience using Airbnbs. I'm very thorough with my research when I'm selecting one, so maybe that has something to do with that, but I've never had a bad Airbnb experience. All my Airbnb experiences have been great and incredible. Some have been so-so, simply, even though the property was nice, but the neighborhood was not all that. So that is something to keep in mind as well. So picking the right Airbnb, but also cost effective. So if you're on a tight budget and you're trying to travel a lot, you're trying to hop countries, spending hundreds of dollars at hotels is not really going to be financially beneficial for you. So hopping from Airbnbs and finding the good ones, and if you're even about that life, I would even recommend some hostels. I'm not about the hostel life no more, but if you can still thug it out, there are some incredible hostels that will give you a bang value for your buck, so definitely look into those as well. And sometimes, even though you'll be like, oh, I don't want to share the room, why would I want to get a hostel? Yes, that is true, but there are some hostels that still offers private rooms at super low cost that are in amazing areas as well, so definitely look into those. So that keeps your accommodation cost low, and it keeps your air transportation costs low when you group your countries within the same region, right? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, figure out if the country that you're traveling to, what type of transportation that you're able to use. Like for countries like Indonesia, right? I spent 2 months in Bali last year. So I love Bali because Grab and Gojek, which are the 2 main transportation providers, they're like their version of Uber and Lyft. And it was just, transportation was just so cheap and so convenient, and I love it because even though I never needed to rent a car for my personal travels, I never needed to rent a car because anywhere I wanted to go, I could just grab and Gojek request it, and it doesn't matter the time of the day. Like, I was good. So figure out your transportation, pick countries that are in the same region, keep your accommodation costs low. Majority of your money, the big portion of your expenses are gonna go towards air travel, accommodation, food, and transportation. If you can keep those low, then you will be able to stretch your budget and be able to do a lot more stuff. So when it comes to food, instead of eating at the big chain restaurants every single night, absolutely, if you want to treat yourself, treat yourself. I'm the queen of treating myself. I could eat at the local mom and pop shop tonight for $5, and tomorrow I could dine at a super high-end fine dining restaurant for $200. That's me. So I like a good and healthy balance, and I want to be able to experience all levels of the country and the culture, from the low end to the mid-range to the high end, and figure out which ones really I like and which one I can sort of like, I would love to come back to, right? So yeah, keep your food low. If you're gonna be there for a long time, like I was, like for 2 months, grocery shopping is key. Grocery shopping is key. If you're lucky and you find an Airbnb that's right next to a grocery store, take advantage of this. Buy the things you know you like eating every day. So that helps keeping your food cost low, so that way you could either make one meal and then eat out for the other one. So if you like making your own breakfast, or the country you're visiting, you don't really care for the breakfast options that they have, so you can make your own breakfast and then eat out lunch and dinner, or make your breakfast and lunch and then eat out dinner. So figure out where your budget lies, what can you do, and how can you compensate for visiting with a tight budget. So if you're able to keep those costs low, you will have a good time, and you will be able to hop countries to countries and find out, and also when you're there, speak to the locals. The locals always know the cheap and the best spots. Google will not always tell you everything. You gotta hang out with the locals. It's their country. You're the foreigner. It's their country. They know their country better than anybody else. So they'll be able to tell you exactly where the good stuff are, where the cheap stuff are and where the non-touristy but same version of these stuff are. You know what I mean? So I love hanging out with the locals. They tell me everything I need to know, and I always end up finding the best deals, the best places, and get the same things for half, sometimes even a quarter of the price that they quote other tourists. Because I'm not a tourist. I don't consider myself to be a tourist anyway when I travel. So these are my tips, guys. There are many more things you could do to keep your costs low, but I want to keep this video within a certain time frame. So click on, comment down, let me know what are the different things that you do to keep your costs low, and let's start a discussion. I want to hear your thoughts and how you have been able to travel from country to country, and also how you plan to do so. Because, you know, once Rona is out and we realize how much we've been taking traveling for granted, I wasn't, but you know, some of us out here has been, but once Rona is out, traveling is gonna be different. Like, things about to change. So you need to know all these information now, so that way when you are in fact able to travel and you want to hop around and be able to do so on a tight budget, that you know how to do so. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming, and thank you for making it all the way to the end. And if you've been watching many of my videos and you're still not a subscriber, oh girl or guy, what are you doing? So click on the subscribing button, and that way you won't miss any future uploads. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. So if you've never done an Airbnb before and you would like to sign up, I have an Airbnb code in the description bar below, and it will be able to save you some money off of your first stay, and hopefully that will help. And if you any other information will also be in the description bar below. The link to my travel company is gonna be there. The link to my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, guys. I post there about my travels way more often than I'll do on YouTube. So if you want to be up to date, follow me on Instagram. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.